coolest thing in the world. I want to be a SEAL.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't know what it really meant. Thought it sounded cool. So I wasn't on any pipeline. I wasn't training. I came in straight off the street.
Holy shit. Okay.
I was completely unprepared.
All right, folks, when it rains, it pours. Everything from Karen moms to another Bud's dud. Chris McDaniel, man, I appreciate you coming on here. These stories of failure are helping out so much because they're stopping guys that are in positions to go before they get there, and they know damn well they're not going to make it. All right, here we go. Are you first generation?
Yes, sir. 22 next month. I enlisted at 19. I applied to the United States Military Academy. I got admitted preparatory school, and I was selected to become the battalion commander for my class for the first semester. And I also won an ARCOM, and I got in because of Jake's help and Jake's advice. 100% all on Jake, right? Jake put me in touch with people. Before I even came here, I had 10 people from West Point. One of them was my cadre, and he 100% set me up for success, and I'm out here winning.
I got goosebumps, man. Like, this is why we do this, man, right here. I just wanted you to come on here, get a little shine, brother. We so proud of you. Like, this is what we do. We're building champions for life. I just appreciate it, man, because these failure videos are moving the universe around special operations because guys are understanding, like, I'm not ready. I don't know what I'm thinking. And it gives them two opportunities. One, to reload and prepare more and be better prepared, or two, just not to go down that path and, deal with all that carnage and destruction that happens when you don't make it through one of those pipes.
They're not ready. A very vivid thing to me is I was like a little child, and the people there were men, not just men. They were killers, literal killers. I was a little child there, and I'm like, I was completely out of place.
Yeah. We got Stingray Chris over here getting stung by a stingray, getting Navy SEAL superpowers. I like it.
Speaking from personal experience.
I'm always saying they're not ready. So let's get into it. What was your childhood like? How'd you grow up? And I'm really referencing like how gritty did you grow up? Where'd you grow up? And just kind of put us in that context,
I like this because I like how you talk about grit. I love that. It's very inspirational. Just want to say you're an inspiration to me. I love watching your videos, even though I didn't make it. I think there's still a lot to learn from y'all savages who did make it. I try and live my life. I try and live up to y'all. I grew up pretty gritty. So I did have that. My dad was a construction worker, very low level construction worker. So from my earliest memories is growing up on a construction site, picking up boards and stuff like that. So I had a little bit of grit on the construction site. And with that said, when I got in a phase, any one day wasn't that much.
Where were you growing up?
San Antonio, Texas. Heat.
Ooh, I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Constantly went to Houston where it was super humid. I just remember growing up on a construction site, picking up heavy 2x12s, 2x14s, working pretty hard for a little kid.
Do any sports?
I didn't. And I think that was probably a contributing factor, kind of an introvert, skateboarded and stuff like that.
Skateboarder. All right. Skateboarders do all right. How were you intellectually? Were you doing well in school?
No, sir. I did not do well. I dropped out of high school very early on.
Okay.
Did not do good in school at all.
So I'm going to say this, man. I'm in San Antonio, man. Dropping out of high school is not uncommon in San Antonio. We have some schools down on the south side that are only graduating 20% of their first graders.
Oh,
so
wow.
I want everybody to understand, dropping out of school in San Antonio is not unheard of. Pretty damn common.
Not to be insecure, but, I made up for it later. I went back to school later on in life and did pretty good in college, but that was much later on. I wanted to get out of San Antonio the second I could. I signed up at 18.
Okay, and were you on the SEAL pipeline the whole time? Did you know you wanted to be a Navy SEAL?
I thought it was a cool idea. I saw the Charlie Sheen movie. I had a little SEAL poster in my room. I thought it was
Okay, so I want to talk about this a little bit. So you weren't training at all?
No, sir.
All right. Well,
I figured I'd get tough in SEAL training. I thought that was what SEAL training was for. It was great training.
Listen. It's incredible when I have a dude in my SEAL training class that was a Tibetan monk. No bullshit. Grew up in a Montessori, whatever it is, temple in Japan. Okay, to maybe not the right country, but a monk.
Oh, I see that one. That's your boy.
I went to school with his cousins. So I showed up out of shape, but I was a world-class athlete 4 months before, right? So you're telling me you just showed up at boot camp. Had you been running at all?
I hadn't been running at all. I had a decent, I guess natural, because I was able to hang with some stuff. I hadn't done anything. I maybe had run around my neighborhood, which looking back is, ran 2 miles, once or twice.
Did you swim at all?
I didn't swim at all, and I failed PT tests 4 times for know how to swim. Well, I
so
knew
were
how
you,
to swim, but I didn't know how to side stroke
yeah.
or anything.
Absolutely. Were you swimming with, like, did they have you in prep swimming? Like, were you working out with anybody? Like now they got SEAL prep where like in every town there's a dive motivator and they work out with the kids. Were you doing anything like that?
No, sir. I came in straight off the street.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, I don't know how this is going to end up, but let's get to boot camp. How'd you do in boot camp?
Boot camp was great. It was, I also had that like bad childhood and stuff. Like my parents kind of stayed together, but they were not great. I didn't love it. Not a great situation. Okay. So I was just looking to get out of town.
Did you have 3 square meals a day? Okay.
No, I went hungry. I had to break into a place where I used to work to get food. Yeah. You know, people have had it rough. You know, I was going without food.
Listen, that's the one thing I tell both of my parents. I never was hungry. I might have been eating the same shit every day. Okay. My dad would buy a cow every other year. He bought a cow. So every year we got half of a cow. We always had meat and potatoes.
Before I went in, I was living in my car for a bit. And this one time, these cops came by, and it's just such a depressing story. These cops came by, knocked on my window, and my car was full of Slim Fast cans because they were like 50 cents each when you buy a 6-pack of them. I was living off of not that I was trying to diet, but that was just nutrition. Living in my car. Hey, it was rough.
One of our number one kids just lived in his car for 3 years. He's now flying C-17s. So We're not afraid of living in cars now. We got to do what we got to do to get to where we want to go. So yes, sir. Ain't nobody taking nothing away from that. Okay, so we done had a rough childhood. We exit stage left out of San Antonio. We show up to boot camp. Boot camp goes pretty well.
3 square meals a day. I was eating so good. Like boot camp was a step up for me. Like that's like luxury. I was having a great time in boot camp.
Yeah, sleeping in a bed.
It was awesome.
Let's go. Okay.
That was like luxury. I had a great boot camp. Was probably my peak. I felt great in boot camp.
All right. So you get done with boot camp. You get shipped out to Coronado.
And it started getting real. I'm like, holy shit, I think I'm actually excited. I'm going to SEAL training. This is this place I'd heard of. I started reading books about it and stuff. I'm like, started getting real. Very intimidated.
How did you do? So let's just talk about the running and the swimming. Because when you first get there in that initial prep phase, they're calling it PTRR.
I believe.
Were you swimming the 4,000 meters a morning with fins on in the swimming pool, like first thing in the morning?
It's been so long now. Whatever we were doing, I was hanging with, whatever that PTR phase was, which was great. And I got there very early on in it. I was one of the first kids in it. So I got like a month and a half, 2 months to build up there. And
it was working fine. Were you running okay? Do you remember any of your times?
I remember my 4-mile run I passed by like 30 seconds, whatever that means. So probably like 31:30.
Yeah, 31:30. Man. Hey, listen, man, okay? You're not helping us talking about showing up and being prepared. You running 31:30s. How big were you?
I was a fairly big guy. I'm like 6'2", and I was probably like 225.
God damn. All right. We got a freak of nature here, folks. Do not think that you can just show up to buds and be successful.
Well, I wasn't. So,
it's okay. It's okay because there is a lot of success right now at buds for somebody that showed up not working out. Okay. That's my opinion is you doing 1,000,000% better than I thought you would have been doing. Wow. So the fact that you passing runs and shit is like, holy shit. Okay. Holy shit. Now I'll tell you this, they got a 28:20. So they did a new study. Only 5 people graduated running slower than a 28:20 in 5 classes. So basically 1 kid a class running slower than a 28:20. So now to class up, you got to run a 28:20 4-mile to class up.
I wouldn't hit that.
Doc, you ain't got to tell me. I ain't never hit 20. I don't care what they put in front of me. I'd ate that shit. Okay, so you're in PTRR. A lot of people quit in PTRR. Okay, so a lot of people just quit.
It was my perspective was it was people had been after like 2 or 3 days. People quit like real quick. Yep. So people come in and they're out like the next day. We had a bunch of people. It was summer class. We had a ton of people, 200 people probably. And we had sort of a core group who we were all like starting to be like, okay, I see you. And anytime we'd get somebody new into class, they'd be gone in like a day or 2.
Yeah. So were you thinking about quitting it all?
At this point, no, not at all. Not through PTR at all. Feeling great.
I mean, fuck, you must be because like you passing runs with no physical training and shit. So I'm like doing something right. Okay. Back then you had PTR, you rolled into a class. You shaved your head on Sunday. Talk to me about the first day and
full onslaught of senses. It's, PTRR is no picnic. It's like, you gotta be, it's very demanding, but then first day of phase, it's a different animal. it's just overwhelmingly physical, and the guys there are real as hell. And we just got beat. We just got beat and beat. It's been a long time. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is the real deal. Like, we are getting our asses handed to us. We're log PT. I got bit by a stingray.
God damn.
They put us out. They sent out like a boat crew to judge the waves and stuff like that. And I was the guy. They sent me out there. You just got to sit in the surf and see how far it takes you. It's like goes back to the UDT days or something. I think it's more at this point.
You're doing a surf observation report.
Yes, sir. Okay. I go to run out there to do it, and a stingray hits me in the boot. And I'm like, fuck. And I run back to my like boat crew leader. I'm like, I got hit by a stingray. He says, okay, run over to medical. I run over to medical. I'm sitting there. They put my foot in a bucket of hot water. Instructor Passstone comes by.
Passstone.
He goes, hey, what happened? I go, I got stung by a stingray, Instructor Passstone. He goes, does it hurt? I go, yeah, it hurts. He goes, that's because you're a little bitch. And he just walks by me. That was kind of inspiring. So he goes back to surf, and I run back. I put on my boot. I run back after him. So I was kind of proud of that. A little proud, tough moment.
Let's go. I mean, we were in the Bayside, man. We had these arthropods that were cutting us, and everybody's like, yo, I'm getting bit. I'm like, I'm getting bit too. And I was a class OIC. And so we stood up. This is during Hell Week, like Tuesday Hell Week. Everybody was fucking bleeding. Everybody, like blood pouring down the. I was like, holy shit. I'm like, everybody out of the water. And the instructor's like, no, get back in the water. I'm like, fuck you. Look at us. We're bleeding. And they came over and turned the flashlight on. They were like, fuck. And so then we got out, and they were like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. We're getting fucking bit. Like, there's something in the water is biting us. And dude, we had no clothes on. All we had on.
Just horrifying.
But I never even heard of nobody getting stung by a stingray out there.
Me neither. I hadn't really seen it before or since, but little sucker got me right in my boot. Went right through my boot, but it didn't get me too bad. So I was actually...
Okay, so first week, you got to run in a swim. How do you do on the run in the swim?
Run in the swim, just generally speaking, decent on all that stuff. I was hanging with everybody else.
Do you remember who your swim partner was on the swim?
Danny Dietz was one of they carried me the first halfway down. But then I say that the stingray venom made me numb and made me more powerful. I get halfway down, I start pulling both of them the other way back because I'm just feeling great because I kind of coasted halfway down. Second way back, I'm pulling them.
Shit, it's fucking Spider-Man and shit. We got Stingray Chris over here getting stung by a fucking stingray, getting Navy SEAL superpowers. I like it though. Shit, any means necessary. Okay, so you get stung by a stingray, you pass the 2-mile swim, you pass the 4-mile time run.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the one where I passed it. Was hanging out towards the back, but I never got goon squatted. I could always see him setting up for goon squad, and I always made that comfortably, and it was usually goon squad was like a couple people after me. It was similar on that run. I could tell the instructors were coming up to sort of cut off the time for the 4-mile, and I passed it with, fairly comfortable amount of time.
This bullshit here. This motherfucker show up passing everything. Chris, I was in every goon squad that ever existed in my buds class.
I couldn't imagine because the training I did caused me to quit. It was so hard. So I couldn't imagine all I did plus every goon squad. That's impossible to me.
I went to every goon squad, but there was like, even if I didn't have to go, I went because I should be there anyway. Like I fucking died. That first couple of phases was every swim and run for me was a life-changing event.
I got a fanboy on you a little bit, like that kind of leadership where you do that. Like that's the kind of stuff I look back. Like I wish I had more of that leadership quality where you go and you be with your guys.
I was 27. I wasn't a baby. I was 27 years old. I've been in the fleet. I've been a leader in the fleet. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I tell everybody. You can't go to buds out of high school. You ain't got the fucking emotional intelligence. You ain't got the leadership. You ain't got the fucking maturity. You ain't got none of the shit you need to be successful in that fucking place.
That's a very vivid thing to me. And even when you were doing that show where you talked about that mom's article and she's talking about, a very vivid thing to me is I was like a little child and the people there were men, not just men. They were killers, literal killers. I was a little child there and I'm like, I was completely out of place.
Yeah. First week goes okay. Do you got any recollection of what you did at the end of the week? Like, did you go eat? Was there...
I ate a lot. I would always try and go down to try and get a pizza every night.
Shit, you was going every night in Fade? Like,
I believe so. As soon as we secured, I'd drive my car like a rich little area, like 9 miles an hour down side streets, run in, grab a pizza, and then get right back. And I'd wake up like 5 minutes early, put my camis in the dryer, put them on. I was all about comfort. That life wasn't for me. You tell, I was all about comfort. So I'd put my camis in a dryer. I wanted warm camis to start the day.
Chris, let me tell you something. If you were in my class and we caught you putting your fucking clothes in the dryer before we went out there, we probably would have beat your ass, man. We would have. Either that or I'd have went and got wet and sandy with you before we even started the day. I'd have been like, fuck this. Like, holy shit. You know, I was the exact opposite. I hung my shit on my cage outside my door. I went and took a shower, went to bed, and then I got up 30 seconds before formation and grabbed all my clothes, slid down the light pole. I lived on the second, stand in formation, get dressed while everybody took muster, and then we would head out. I couldn't do if I had to get up 5 minutes early and put on warm clothes, bro, there's no way.
We had different experiences. I was trying to maximize comfort and buds. You were trying to maximize leading a team through.
Second week, what do you got first week? You got drown proofing first week? Or a 50-meter underwater swim? You did fine on that?
Some point in there, we had a 50-meter. I think I failed my first one. And the whole time, I can't say enough, the whole time, I was just a fish out of water. I didn't know what was going on at any point. So
that's not a bad thing, Chris. That's not a bad thing. I'll tell you that right now. Like, sometimes the motherfucker just got his head down and don't even know what's coming next. Is the dude that makes it. So
it took me a little ways. So, so you're right about that. I messed up the instructions for the 50-meter. I didn't think I could kick off at any wall. And so I just didn't make it. I messed up my first attempt.
Okay.
My second attempt, I jumped in, but I could tell as soon as I jumped in, I could tell I didn't have the breath. I didn't have the breath for it. Water shot up my nose. I was totally screwed up, but I was like, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I'm just going to stay down here till I pass out. I don't give a hell. So I do my flip. I think you have to do a flip and then go 25 to the other side.
Yep.
I push off. I come back to the other side. And that's kind of the last thing I remember. And the instructor pulls me up by my little UDT britches and just drops me on the side of the pool. And I'm out. Like, I'm passed out. And I finally remember, I'm like, I was stumbling. I feel...
You're trying to say... I'm okay.
I feel fine. It took me a couple seconds. Everybody's just watching me. And buds, it's hilarious looking back. There's no sympathy. My whole class is laughing at me. They're like, wake up, you faker. That's my class. The instructor's like, are you stupid or something? What are you trying to say? There's no sympathy.
None. I watch people get CPR. I'm like, fuck, glad you woke up. Hey, get back in line. You got to pass. So
my buddy did a similar thing, cracked his teeth. He had to get his teeth fixed in phase. Nobody cares.
So you get done with 50-meter underwater swim. You're in buds, oblivious to what's really going on around you. Okay. So we go into the second week. Did anything change in the second week? Were you kind of operating at the same, like, well, I don't know what's happening next, but I'm still here.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a really good time. I was living the life that I thought I wanted to live. I was right where I wanted to be. It's sunny California. We had a couple of cool, fun, motivating moments. We were running on the beach one time. Hot lady laying down in a bikini. Takes us all around her. And we're all like flexing and everything. We're young guys, like little moments like that. Like I remember they're just like the funnest time in the world that I'll always remember. Such an interesting, cool experience to be there with those guys doing that. You're getting paid to work out all day. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like that up until the point where they started timing me on runs and swim. Drown proofing wasn't a problem. You passed drown proof, they tied you up, put you in the water. You did okay?
I don't think we did that until after Hell Week. Must have been, because I really don't remember me doing drown proofing. We practiced it and stuff.
You had to have done it. There's no way. There wasn't a time period. And
where it was after?
Oh, hang on.
I don't remember doing drown proofing.
No. You're all right. Second week, you passed both the run and the swim?
As far as I know, yeah. Passed
the O course?
Yes, sir. Yeah. O course was...
Holy shit.
Everything I did, I just did it as hard as I could.
Chris, I'm going to tell you this, man. You fucking Spider-Man this shit with Stingray venom in your body. Because I ain't had nobody go to buds and make it fucking 2 weeks like it was nothing. Oh, yeah, I passed both the runs and swims. Every physical event with a clock on, I was calling Jesus. So you go to third week, steaming, Willie beaming, pass both the run and the swim?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember failing anything. I mean, we had the infamous log PT and everything, but I didn't think it was log PT. I didn't think it was that bad. They never put us under Old Miz or anything. I probably had a good boat crew. We all just put out pretty good. It was hard, but I was
well, you were in big boys.
Yeah.
So you fuck every other race. You down there with me in the 5-7 crew. We losing every race. We got Old Misery every fucking day. We got Old Misery and shit.
I never had to do any of that.
Was there any doubt coming into your head at this point? Were you starting to kind of be like, I don't know?
But I feel like it was starting to creep in a little bit. Like 6 months of this would be really hard to do.
Yep. You can't ever think like that. We're really kind of on autopilot in Navy SEAL training. Week 4 is kind of an easy week because you're getting ready for Hell Week. Like looking back, I'm like, man, yeah, we didn't. Okay. So I take it you passed both the run, the run and the swim and the O course in that 4th week.
I must have. No problem. Long runs. It's not just that run, as you well know. It just felt like we were running all the time. We were doing hard sand runs north, and I think we do soft sand runs south. Sand runs were brutal. There's one time another just a little bud story. The instructors started yelling at the officers for always leading the pack. They said, get back there with the slow people and help them and stuff. And so they threw all the officers back. It finally gave us a chance I led one soft sand run. I was pretty proud of that.
Hey, let me tell you something. Even work out at all, bruh, like, man, this ain't good for my channel. Because I tell my dudes, you got to be in shape. But we'll get to the ending so my channel will understand. Like, I don't have anybody that's done what you done other than my boy, Dan Brown. That's the only dude I know.
I mean, that's really surprising to hear that. I'm very, very middle to low of the pack.
So. Yeah, but most people can't do that, right? Like, I would argue that you had a lot of grit.
There, as long as I did, was just the grit.
Yeah.
And I learned that from my dad. I remember being in training, remembering distinctly back to my dad would be at the bottom of a ditch, half full of water, and he's in mud. We're in Houston. It's 110 degrees, humid. And I would think back to my dad and be like, my dad would do this stuff all the time. I can do this.
And you're starting Hell Week on Sunday. It is a very scary time. Okay.
I was so scared. Poster child for this. So this was I started hitting the wall. Physically, completely physically. Okay. They say it's mental, it's not physical. After those 4 weeks of the 4 hardest weeks of my life and not being prepared, my body was done. Now, nothing medical. There was no broken bones, nothing medical wrong. But every muscle was as just atrophied and sore as I had ever felt in my entire life.
Gotcha. And you weren't an athlete. You weren't an athlete in high school.
I didn't know about that life. Tents out front. You finally get in the tents. Then you're right. It just ramps up. It was getting so big.
The stress, they do it on purpose. You in the tent for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, just sitting there.
So long, just in your own thoughts, and you can't talk to anybody else. You know, I've heard you say it's competing against anybody. You're just competing against yourself. You can't tell another buds guy who's about to go into. You can't tell him you're scared.
I mean, I was in there. I was fucking. You know, there was some times there was a lot of stress. That's Saturday and Sunday. I would say maybe some of the most stress ever. Real life stress. And everybody is feeding it as much as they can. Everybody that's in control of how you're doing is feeding the stress.
Darn near impossible to, like, how do you explain that to somebody who has no idea? It's hard to do that. But when I was in it, it just felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. So I had to hit the wall physically, a run, and put it away. I can't do it for a whole week, is what I told myself. Building up. That stress is ramping up, and it's Sunday night.
Were you in the tents?
I was in the tents. They had a little cot assigned. We were all in the tents. It was getting dark. It was getting darker. And the stress was just mounting the whole time. And finally, I just made the decision. I was like, I'm going to quit. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. So I ran out of the tent, and I did it in a really bad way.
Hang on, Chris. I want to make sure we understand this.
Okay.
You physically ran from the stress of the tent.
Yeah.
I want people to understand this. Like I tell people, like, look, man, I can't prepare you for this shit. You either prepared for it or you're not, because you can't match this shit. You know, maybe a world-class athlete or a high school athlete wrestling for a state championship has some stress, but like, I wasn't stressed about my high school wrestling match like I was this shit. So, okay, so you bolt out of the tent. Where do you go?
I run into the grinder, because that's where, like, my sense was that all the instructors were. You know, I figured I'd go and tell an authority. You know, go tell an, and so I get in the freaking amazing grinder, and it's just an amazing place. Like, I still have so much respect for it. All the baddest real SEALs are there. They got M60s they're holding. They got flashbangs. They got 50-gallon drums on fire. And it's just the calm right before the storm. I had waited till the last second. And they had also told us, you know, part of that, maybe even psychological thing, they say if you quit before Hell Week, you don't have to wait a 24-hour period. But if you quit in Hell Week, they'll hold you for 24 hours for observation. So I was like, well, I'm done. So why wait till Hell Week?
Oh my God.
So I ran in through the grinder, and some stud badass SEAL he looks at me and just goes, get to where you're going. I'm like, he's holding an M60. I'm like, I need to get the hell out of here. This place is crazy. There's a corner over there where they got everybody. They got some brown shirts over there or something, probably waiting for the quitters. And I just run in there. I'm like, hey, I quit. My name's McDaniel. I quit. And they're like, okay.
And so how did you feel when you quit? Did you feel relieved? Like, what were the emotions when you quit?
I don't remember a lot on it. I felt physically relieved. I'm like, thank God I don't got to do that. And I really, to this day, I couldn't imagine going back and doing a Hell Week. It's just insane what you guys put your bodies through. And again, it's like, I think a lot of people have this misconception that they could do a Hell Week if they started out strong, but you start out beat down after 4 weeks. You're beat down going into Hell Week. So yeah, I just don't know how you guys do it. I think you guys are supermen. So I felt physically relieved. You know, I felt let down. You know, I let myself down. I was bummed out about that. I'm not going to be doing what I wanted to do. what the heck am I going to do? What is my future like? I have no idea. But physically, I was like, thank God I don't got to go sit out in the ocean for 5 days and then 6 months and then a year.
Okay. So what'd you end up going to do in the Navy?
Oh, so they get you over this place called X Division, like instantly. And people start, and you're there for a couple of days or sometimes even weeks over in X Division. They get you out to the other side of the base. And, I think some people have misconceptions about maybe you can go to like do something cool like EOD or something like that. They don't care about any of that. You call up your big Navy detailer. I call him up. I'm like, hey, I'm Chris McDaniel. He's like, I have you on my list. What ship do you want? And so I was holding out hope that I'd be on, at least, if not something else cool, like at least a shore command or some negotiation. No negotiation. He's like, pick a ship on the West Coast. And I'm like, okay, what are my options? He gave me 3 ships. I picked the USS Tarawa, and I was haze gray underway, chip and paint for the next 6 months.
Okay. They went right on deployment when you got on?
I believe they were actually already a month into deployment. They flew me out to Japan, and then I met them like Singapore or something. They were already on deployment. It was a rude awakening.
And you were just a deck seaman? Like just a regular undesignated deck seaman?
I didn't have it that bad. I was a radioman, which they changed to information systems technician. Okay. So I was up doing radio communications, RM. So it wasn't that bad, but so I fly to Japan, then there was a second flight somewhere else. I don't even remember where, but they put me in a little boat to get out to the ship, and it's like 2 a.m. And the ship is this huge, just old, aging, disgusting thing. I'm like, I can't believe I live there now. I wanted to cry. I probably did cry at some point.
Yeah. I mean, that happens though, but I mean, it's good for people to hear, right?
I want to be real about, because that's 95% of people. That's going to be their story, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to go ship paint. Like you were a radio man, even you're like, fuck, it was terrible. And so let me ask you this at any point, because it doesn't sound like you were bitter or mad at yourself that you had quit at this point, right? Like, I feel like you were like, that place was not for me at all. And I got out of there, and I'm glad I got out of there. Did you look back early on and be like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Buds, or I wanna go retackle the beast again? I mean, because I'm gonna tell you this, 9/11 happens right. Like, where were you at when 9/11 happened?
9/11, we had just gotten back from deployment, and we were at 32nd Street Naval Station.
Okay, so at any point did you say, I want to go back to Buds in your own head?
I really didn't. I kind of had accepted that life wasn't for me. To this day, I don't know how you guys did what you did getting through all that. I felt that wasn't for me. I didn't think I could do it.
Which is fine. I mean,
I just want to be real. I mean, I've made peace with that.
I commend you for leaving before the pain though, right?
Mr. Zweig, you're the freak. I'm a normal person. I'm part of the 95%.
No, and then listen, let me tell you something. No one shows up there not working out.
Could have been special like you guys, but most people aren't.
What do you want to give your advice to the younger you?
Talking to me, I've made peace with it. I do housing now. I help people get housing. I'm very proud of that. That's my life. I wasn't an operator. And maybe if I was telling other people, do something else for a while, and I think this aligns with what you say, Jake, is, don't go in at 18 tri-seals. Do something else for a little while. Maybe you have a different passion that you pursue. Maybe find out something else is for you. If you really, really still think you want to be a Navy SEAL, maybe don't go in at 18. Definitely try to go the college route, which is a lot smarter. Get a little more life experience under you and work out. Like, I appreciate, you being very nice to me saying I did good, but I was there a blink of an eye. I was there in first phase. It's nothing. So it didn't work. So I did everything wrong and it didn't work.
Or the other thing happened. You showed up with a fucking backpack full of grit. You guys know, man, don't show up to Buds unprepared. Get the PDF. We got it. Get into Discord. We got it. Get the masterclass on School's Classroom. Make sure you jump in Patreon. We got it all, man. Like, be like Chris. Show up physically prepared. Give yourself a chance to be successful. Chris, I commend you, bro. We get so much out of these videos where people don't make it, man. I just want to say thank you, man.
Thank you for everything you do, Jake.